Okay, so for the review for this guitar, I'm going to be talking about the specs, and I will also demonstrate some clean and rhythm tones that you can expect from this guitar. Not so much lead tones because I felt like I covered that quite a bit in the beginning of the video, so I feel like I should do a little bit more rhythm and clean tones with this. And towards the end I will also be talking about my overall impressions and opinions about this really gorgeous guitar. Now with that being said, let's get towards with the specs. So the first thing you guys can probably see where the camera picks up, don't know how nicely, is this really beautiful gold Eclipse sparkle finish. Very, very nice. Not as intense as the pink one that I have, but still gorgeous nonetheless. Very, very cool. What I really like about this finish is that obviously the main sparkle is gold, but there's also silver flakes and a little bit of black flakes that I'm not too sure if the camera can pick up, but it adds to the classiness of this guitar. It just has a really, really cool look, especially with the gold hardware and the maple fretboard and the maple neck, which I will get more into as well throughout the video. But yeah, very, very nice finish. So now we have a Goto GE bridge with ESP Custom Lab Tremolo Tone Springs, or Tone Tremolo Springs Type 2. So this is a bit of a older-ish type of bridge, and it's very reminiscent to what you see with more higher-end American Fenders from what I've seen. So what I really like about this bridge is that it creates a lot of tone, and if I turn the back, this cavity and this really, really big tone block just adds to the sustain, the overall wholeness, resonance of this guitar. I mean, just by picking it up and knocking on the wood, whether it's the body or the neck, it just resonates really nicely, and that's what I really like about these snappers, is that they're really, really resonant and they feel really, really nice to play. So the heart of this guitar is definitely this right here when it comes to tone. For the pickup configuration, we have a Seymour Duncan stacked single coils pretty much on all the spots. The thing is that this middle bridge, not middle, so this middle pickup is disengaged. The specs indicate that this is a dummy, which just means that they haven't wired it. So you can only get the bridge pickup sound, the two pickups, and then the neck. So this is a three-way switch. I know it looks a little, off, and like, I don't know. That's the way Takayoshi spec'd it out, and it works pretty well because I guess if you want to go between the bridge and neck fast, which he does, to go from a nice attack from the bridge and from a more fluid lead type of tone from the bridge, you kind of have to go back and forth. And if you guys seen a lot of his videos, he goes super fast. So I believe Yngwie Malmsteen has this same type of configuration. Overall, this guitar is kind of based off of Yngwie Malmsteen's Strat, but this is, in my opinion, a way, way nicer one. So again, Seymour Duncan bridge pickups, stacked single coils. The same one here just doesn't work, or it's just, not wired, disengaged. Same on the neck. Now we have a master volume, master tone, and then we have a dummy tone knob. Again, just like my pink Takayoshi Ohmura signature, it's the same configuration. I guess they kept it there for looks. It adds mass to it, but doesn't really do anything. Again, I mean, everything how this guitar was configured and spec'd out works for a reason. So, I mean, by all means, I mean, it is what it is, right? But yeah, this doesn't do anything. This is not wired. Three-way toggle switch, stacked single coils. That's pretty much it. And they sound really good too. So they have that humbucker-ish tone, not completely thin sounding like a regular single coil. You get a bit more of a girthy or type of a thicker sound, but obviously it has most of that single coil clarity and snappiness. So best of both worlds in my opinion, but more single coil-ish. And of course for the neck pickup, it's perfect for leads. Very fluid sounding, good attack. Every note comes out really clear. I'm a big fan of this configuration. as I turn the back, we have a bolt-on construction. What I like about this here is that it's nice and cut, has a nice little contour, so it's easy to play up here with no hindrance. Nothing's poking your palm. Very, very nice, very easy to play. Now for my favorite thing about this guitar is the scalloped fretboard. In this case, it is a maple fretboard, but it is half scalloped. So it's not as deep as Yngwie Malmsteen's Strats when he has them like completely scalloped. This is more along the lines of Ritchie Blackmore's Strats, where it's just a little bit. There's still no contact between your fingers and the fretboard, so it's very fluid sounding. On top of that, and fluid playing. But on top of that, we have Jescar extra jumbo frets, so it adds to that. It's kind of like if it were to be full scalloped, but not completely scalloped. So it's very easy to play, easy for bends. If you have a light touch, you maybe or you might not feel it as much, but it's definitely there. Like the feel is there. Like you can feel like little to no, absolutely, honestly, no friction between like string or fingertips towards the fretboard. So it's very nice, very easy to play. Sometimes it feels like air. It didn't take a lot to get used to. It feels super, super good. And I feel like it adds like snappiness and attack to your tone. Now for the neck, we have a 12-inch radius, hard maple. Very solid, very sturdy. Neck doesn't move at all from what I have experienced. It is kind of chunky, but still super playable. I feel like a lot of the resonance comes from the neck too. Not thin at all. It has a nice grip to this. So if you don't like chunky necks, you might have to get used to this a little bit, but no, if it's really good. As far as the feel for this, I feel like it once was satin. There wasn't any clear indication in the specs what it was, but now it's like gloss from just the previous owner from playing it too much. And even for the fretboard, it looks relict, but I feel like this might have been done intentionally when it was made or built in the custom shop, because again, you know, there's no friction between the string and the fretboard to scrape off some of the, you know, wood of the surface. But it looks really cool, really nice. I mean, if I put my finger and rub the scratched off parts, you can feel that it's been scratched off. But again, maybe it was through the years of playing it a lot, this tends to happen, or maybe it was done like this. So now we have a bone nut, and then we have these really cool Goto HAP tuners. These are pretty cool because they don't have that knob or the little wheel to tighten the string. What you do is you get a coin and you see like there's a slot for it, almost like a flathead, and you loosen that, you run it through, and then it tightens as you tune the guitar. So it's pretty stable, I haven't had any issues. So they don't look like traditional locking tuners. They just have the look of regular tuners, or in this case Goto tuners, but they have that locking mechanism where you turn it and it tightens itself. I'll give you guys a closer look at the headstock. Now what's really cool about this guitar is that it's signed by Takayoshi Ohmura. The thing is, this is a print right in the front, but if you turn it back here, that's his signature. So how cool would it have been if he owned this guitar? That would have been really, really cool, because there are some dents to this. Other than that, we have the truss wheel down here, very easy to adjust, rather than taking off the cover, kind of what we're used to, right? We've seen before traditionally. But yeah, other than that, the last thing to point out is these cool abalone type of dot inlays. Very nice, very cool. Gorgeous guitar, plays great, sounds great. I'm a huge fan. And that is about it for the specs of this guitar. Now I will be demonstrating some clean tone and rhythm tones. I will leave the time stamps down below for you guys to skip forward, or you know, to go back and forth between to check out how this guitar sounds. Alright, now for my overall impressions about this guitar. Just like the previous snappers, or the snappers that I own now, they're great. They're very easy to play, very resonant. This is so unique in my opinion compared to the others, just because of the scalloped fretboard. The pink Takayoshi Ohmura that I have, only up to the 9th fret and below is half scalloped. The whole fretboard is scalloped. So this has a unique type of feel compared to all the guitars that I have. And I love this a lot. It plays great and it sounds really good. I wouldn't necessarily call this a one-trick pony because it could do a lot of styles. I'm very happy with this guitar, and I'm very fortunate to win it in an auction because these guitars are like $4,000 brand new. Used they go for like $1,000 less. So winning this at half price, or a little bit less than half price. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Please subscribe. I plan to do a discussion about higher end ESPs now, since my collection is starting to grow into something big. So stick around for that. Other than that, have a nice day and stay safe.